Today, Brent is demonstrating a new twist to a great fly pattern created by Hans Klinkhammer. The selection of materials on this fly are looking very favorable, and we cannot wait to get out on the water to fish this new version of this infamous fly created many years ago.
Good day, folks. Welcome to another segment on the bench. Today I'm going to bring you another parachute fly here. This is the Klinkhammer. Uh, Tying this with some different materials. I just want to bring it and share with some of the viewers. I just ran across another product that was quite interesting, so I'm going to tie these up and give them a go this summer. Um, so let's get started here. Its body is created with Angora goat, which I never thought of using for a dry fly dubbing, but it's got like a touch dubbing look to it, which is originated with Gary LaFontaine, where you chop that dubbing really fine and just touch it on your thin thread and wind it forward. Lance Philomack showed me that years ago. He's a guide over in Elko, BC, and had some really nice style mergers that way. And those were very productive flies when a lot of the fish weren't eating anything else. So I know I've been fishing them for years since, and I always like the parachute style dry flies. They sit in the water just the way I like them. And get a hook in the vise here. We're going to be starting with a size 12. This is a Daiichi 1130 1X fine hook. Nice for dry flies. I'm just going to tie this on the parachute on here. I like the fluorescent um, thread on this because with the translucent thorax I'm tying in, you can see a little of that kind of peeking through when you get a UV torch on it. So then I'll just tie that on top. We're just going to go wind around the bottom. Here we'll tighten that post up a little bit as we go along. Wind our thread up the post. It gives us a nice base to wrap our hackle. Okay. I'm just gonna finish that off. You can cement that if you want now for durability. I'm going to do it a little later. I'll show you why. I'll just come and take my post, tie it off. Okay, if you need to shorten it up a little later, you can do so. Now, we'll bring in the other fine thread. I've got a light olive thread on my bob pin. I'll just use it. You can use a gray or anything light. That's not going to stand out too much from your dubbing color. Just light olive will work fine. Put it on the shank here. I'll pick that up a little bit more so I can get a little more hook exposed. Okay. Now, material I like using for ribbing is micro glint tinsel. This is in pearl. Got a lot of copper hue in it. I use this a lot, and some other glimmer threads for dries and also nymphs. Adds no weight, got a lot of sparkle. Nice and thin on there. Okay, we'll use that. Interesting thing I come across the other day was a fellow was tying parachutes with Angora goat or African goat. Kind of a mix. He had kind of a blend or whatever. I'm just going to use a regular dun color, gray, and we'll just get that started and get this dubbed on, roll it on. I'd have never thought of using this for dry fly dubbing. I'd never give it a moment's thought. But it's sure nice when you have access to all these different tires and ideas online. And you might have seen it. And if you don't, I just wanted to bring it to our viewers here. So get that wound in nice and tight. And we'll start right at the bottom here. And we'll start getting our body a little bit thicker as we go, get a bit of a taper going. But you can see what's happening here is that text looks like a touch dub. Like say, we fish touch dub flies and they do work. Gary LaFontaine originated. If I didn't mention that, I'd mention again because It's a very, very interesting technique. Been around a long time, and I know Lance just swore by the fly and give me a few, and boy, he was right. Just wind my rib up, got that off. Now, if there's any long stragglers, you just nip them off. But you can see the texture of that on the bottom. That is really good. I like the looks of that. I have no doubt that this fly is going to do a great job for us. I would give the fellow credit if I knew who it was. I'd just seen a picture of it. I believe I don't have them right now, or I swear I would. So I'm coming in here with some of this Legus, this ultra translucent dubbing, and I like using that a lot. I don't know if it's readily available anymore. It's good for nymphs and good on this thorax. So let's get that all tightened up here. Get a turn or two in the head, then I can tighten it up. Once I get my dubbing started, then you can always tighten it up. Pull it on a little tighter as you go. Make sure the bottom, get that thorax looking about where you want it. If you're happy with that, that's good. And you can just pinch it off. Look at your flies from the bottom. That's really the most important, is what the fish are going to see. A lot of times we're worried about putting all the fancy stuff on the top. I always look at my flies from the bottom. That's where the business end is happening, right? Okay, so now we got our pair post is all ready set there with our other thread. I'm going to bring in some of my hackle here, which is going to be the Cree Super Saddle. Strip that off, the good side up. I'm just going to lash that on the top, across the post. Just check that it's going to wind properly. And if it's going to stay on, see it pop right off, make sure you check that. Catch it. Now I check, yeah, that'll hold. And it'll turn right. It'll look good. Now, I like using this Solres thin hard resin. Just going to tip this. I have a little needle applicator there. And this is kind of a gel. Put that right on the base of that post. There's quite a bit on there. Don't get it on your thorax, just get it around the base of the post. And we're just going to start at the top and work our way down with our hackle. And I need myself a light. Cure that on. And you are secure. This thing is finished. In there with your scissor points, get that off. Take your scissor and just blade that thread right off, and it is finished. Very durable and clean. You got a nice clean fly on the bottom. My favorite way of doing parachute posts. You want to trim that down a little bit, make it look a little better, you can, whatever you wish. But that fly sits in the water where it belongs, and very vulnerable phase of the insect. And those snobby trout, they'll eat these kind when they're all going to turn away from a lot of the other dry flies we found. So many different species will be eating this.
This fly is tied on a Daiichi 1130 size 12 hook, and the fluorescent chartreuse parapost is tied on with 6/0 fluorescent yellow flat thread. The body is tied with 8/0 light olive thread. The rib is pearl micro glint tinsel. The body is gray Angora goat. The thorax is olive gray Legus translucent dubbing. The hackle is Cree Super Saddle and finished with Solres thin hard resin. We appreciate Brent sharing another one of his favorite flies. Thanks for joining us today. Take care and conserve the waters.